Welcome to Codex, a history of video games. My name is Tyler Osby.
And I'm Mike Coletta.
And this week we're back on the Mario Kart train, or I guess we're back on the Mario Go-Kart train. Back on the Mario Kart Go-Kart?
It's like we're in separate go-karts, but we're holding hands, so we're a train.
Yeah, okay. I'm with you on that. Yeah, take it away, Mike.
All right. So once again, we're going to go down the list in chronological order. Here we go. Was that pretty good?
Yeah, it was good. I'm the best.
Hi, I'm Daisy. Okay. Mario Kart Super Circuit was developed by Intelligent Systems, not made by Nintendo. And this came out on the Game Boy Advance in 2001, and I actually own this game, and I can say it's great. I really like this game.
I also had this game, and I loved it too. It was like a perfect combination between Super Mario Kart and Mario Kart 64.
Yes, and it was to go. It was on your Game Boy Advance. So Super Circuit still had those classic game modes we all know and love, Grand Prix, Time Trial, Versus, Battle, and the addition of a new mode called Quick Run. Quick Run is a single-player mode. That's right, just you, where you choose any course with customized rules, such as you could change the item frequency or the number of laps. And I think it just was added in because when you're on a handheld, you really need like a quick way to play. You know, you like jump in and jump out because that's what you're doing. You're like playing your Game Boy and your mom's like, go vacuum. You're like, fine. I guess I'm glad I chose a quick run instead of a full Grand Prix. So Super Circuit's character list is the exact same as Mario Kart 64. So Peach, Yoshi, Toad, light characters, Mario and Luigi's medium characters, and then Bowser, Donkey Kong, and Wario as heavy characters. In the U.S., Super Circuit actually sold 2.1 million copies. And it earned $63 million by August 2006. And during that period between January 2000 and August 2006, it was the fourth highest selling game launched for the Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS, or PlayStation Portable. So it outsold those other handheld games. Super Circuit has sold 2.53 million copies total in the United States, and it is now on the Nintendo Player's Choice list because of that.
You know what was cool about Super Circuit, and there were a few Game Boy Advance games that did this that I thought was really neat, was that you only needed one cartridge to play multiplayer. You could boot the other Game Boy Advances off of just one Game Boy Advance with Super Circuit cartridge. The only catch was everybody had to be Yoshi.
That's
when you played like that.
Still super fun, though, I think. Just different colored Yoshis, though? Like a red Yoshi? Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, I think they were different colored Yoshis. Yeah, I thought that was funny. But that was one thing that we made use of, too. We got a lot of mileage out of games that only needed one cartridge to do multiplayer. So that's how I know that.
That's pretty good, though. They did a lot of that with the Game Boy Advance, and it was great. Huge fan. Now, let's get into if I'm going to use a Metal Gear Solid reference, big boss of all Mario Kart games. Ready for this? Mario Kart Double Dash. Yeah. I should mention the Double Dash actually has 2 exclamation points at the end of it. So it's Double Dash. Like, boom, boom. It's released on the Nintendo GameCube in Japan on November 7th, 2003, then in Europe on November 14th, and then North America got a November 17th release instead. We're the third getting the game. But then Australia, always in the end on November 19th. So it's pretty much all at the same time, though, like that same month. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty much same time. I mean, almost 20 years later now, I think it's close enough. You can just be like, yep, it all came out at the same time. Who cares?
Yeah, Double Dash actually brought a couple new features to Mario Kart. For example, the term Double Dash is because you have 2 people, 1 cart. That's right.
Whoa.
Your cart has 2 riders in it. One person drives the cart. The other person throws the items. This is still the only Mario Kart game ever to offer co-op. It was never done again.
Wow.
Because you can each play one member in the cart and switch together, and it's super fun. That's why I love this game so much. This was also the first Mario Kart game to use 3D polygon graphics instead of the sprites. Bye, sprites. We'll miss you, but we still love you, which is the same. Double Dash also supported LAN play using the Nintendo GameCube broadband adapter. Not online.
Almost literally no one did.
But LAN play. Yeah, no one really played LAN play.
Yeah, no one played LAN play. It didn't have official online play, but you can play it online using some software on your computer that sort of tricks it into thinking it's on a network and you can play online that way. It's called Warp Pipe. I don't know if it still exists, actually. But it did, and it's pretty cool.
Well, if you're a big LANer out there, you could play with 16 players simultaneously. It's pretty fun.
Dang, that's pretty great.
So there are 20 characters to select from in total in Double Dash, and each one has a special item, and they come in pairs. All right, so 11 of these characters are also brand new to Mario Kart, which is pretty neat. So I am now going to list those pairs of characters and their items. Are you ready for this, Tyler?
I am ready for this.
Mario and Luigi, fireballs, classic.
Oh, yeah.
Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong, giant bananas. You know
Totally
what's better
makes
than a
sense.
banana? A giant banana. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Bowser Jr., Bowser shells, spiky shells. Yoshi and Birdo teamed up, and they had eggs, which is weird because Birdo is still the creepiest character in Mario to me. And then
Yeah,
Peach
Birdo is pretty weird.
Pretty weird. Peach and Daisy had hearts. Oh, that's nice. Wario and Waluigi, gotta love Waluigi, had bob-ombs. Koopa Troopa, who had previously appeared in Super Mario Kart. That's how long it was before Koopa Troopa was back in the mix.
Oh, yeah.
And then Koopa Paratroopa had triple shells. Boom, boom, boom. Toad and Toadette, golden mushrooms. Baby Mario and Baby Luigi, chain chomps. Adorable. Petey, Piranha, and King Boo were really cool because they could actually use any of the other characters' special items. And when they used Luigi's green fireball, and they would use Birdo's pink eggs, they were like extra special, which is pretty fun.
Dang.
I actually really liked playing as Petey, Piranha, and King Boo. Big fan. This game also allowed you to change carts for the first time. So there were actually 21 carts in all, but the carts were not affected your stats. The only thing that affected your stats still were your character's weight. So light, middle, or heavy, depending on who you were.
So it's just cosmetics for the carts?
Pretty much, just how you want your cart to look, which I think is still fun, you know?
Yeah.
Game modes included all of the classics, Grand Prix, Battle, Versus, Time Trial, and then LAN. LAN is the new one, which lets you play with friends. I say online in the notes, but that's not true. It's all hooked up to the same local area network. Beautiful.
Yeah. System Link, LAN parties. When your Xbox buddies are playing Halo at the LAN party, you could have been playing Double Dash.
Exactly.
The GameCube.
So development of Double Dash actually started probably around 2000, is what we're guessing, since the game was first shown at E3 in 2001 as a 7-second video clip. Not a lot to go off of there.
No,
if you ask
not a
me.
lot.
But the clip had Mario and Luigi driving their carts on a bump map 3D surface with no background. So even more exciting. The game was so early in development, the working title was actually just Mario Kart. They didn't have Double Dash in there yet. They didn't even have the premise of Double Dash in there yet. It wasn't until April 2003 that Nintendo released the first pictures and details for Double Dash, and they revealed the title to be Double Dash. At E3
2 exclamation marks.
Yeah, at E3 2003, a playable demo of the game was available, and it finally showed off the 2 characters, 1 cart mechanic, which is nice to know. And then an updated demo was later shown at the Games Convention in August 2003. And then in September 2003, Nintendo held a Gamers Summit for the press, which I wish I got invited to that. You know, as a child, that would have been amazing.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Right?
But you were not the press in 2003.
I was not the press. But then I was, they had a pretty much nearly complete version of Double Dash, and then they also had a more sped up version if you wanted to play that. The Gamers Summit also announced that it was releasing in North America on November 17th, 2003. So the development team actually kind of struggled with Double Dash to devise like gameplay features that fans would enjoy. So that's kind of their whole mission statement for Double Dash, is we want to make it so that everyone will enjoy this, not just Mario Kart veterans, but new people as well. And so that was the hardest part for Kiyoshi Mizuki, was to try to make it so people who had never played Mario Kart before were into Mario Kart Double Dash. And what Mizuki decided to do is take the gameplay as simple as possible. So as always, producer Shigeru Miyamoto, our friend, our hero, added some of his own ideas as well, like he always does, because he kind of just throws out ideas and then backs away. That's the thing we've kind of noticed.
That's what he does. He just like, here's a grenade. He just like throws an idea out there and then runs away and says, do with that what you want.
Do what you want. I'm producing like 800 games at a time. So the team actually discussed during this to do connectivity with the Game Boy Advance for Double Dash, but then they were like, you know what? That's just not going to work. You know, let's take it out. Let's focus on making this game the best it can possibly be. And I think that's a really good decision, because I don't know about you, I never used any Game Boy Advance to GameCube things. Did you ever do it?
I did for Metroid Prime. I think if you beat Metroid Prime and you linked up to Metroid Fusion, you unlocked the original Metroid on GameCube to play through. And then if you had beaten Fusion and you linked up to Metroid Prime, you got the Metroid Fusion suit in Metroid Prime, which didn't do anything special, but it looked cool.
You know what?
It's all
about looking
pretty
cool.
much it. It's pretty much it. It's the only thing I ever did with that. And I had the cable too, but that's really all I did with it. Oh, I did the Animal Crossing. You could download, you didn't even need a cartridge in your Game Boy. You downloaded like a pattern maker to your Game Boy, and you could like make t-shirts and stuff. It was cool.
Oh, did I tell you? When I got that GameCube for free, from the Comedy Underground at the Comedy Club in Seattle that just had a GameCube in the green room for no reason. And I was like, whose is that? They're like, I don't know. I'm like, can I have it? And they're like, sure. It came with Animal Crossing. I have Animal Crossing for GameCube. Yeah, I need to boot it up. I haven't even seen if it works yet. I've been like, I put its own like area in my room where it's just out on display looking all pretty, but I haven't actually done anything with it yet. Maybe I'll boot up Animal Crossing, see what that's like.
Yeah, you got to fire that up.
Yeah, but one thing about the whole mission statement of this game to be like bring in new players, it actually made it so they took out some stuff. Like I actually didn't realize this, but they took out the ability to escape the banana. You know how in the old games where you'd like in Mario Kart 64, if you drove over a banana and you hit brake really fast, you wouldn't spin out?
Yeah.
They don't have that in Double Dash. You're going to spin out no matter what. Yeah. There was also a special edition of the game, which I thought was pretty cool. And that actually had a bonus disc, which contained demos and gameplay videos. Remember those?
Yeah.
Oh, those are the best. The demos included Mario Party 5, F-Zero GX, Sonic Heroes, Star Wars Rogue Squadron 3, Rebel Strike, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Pokemon Coliseum, and Kirby Air Ride. Those are some solid demos to have, too.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
The special edition disc also had exclusive digital content that you could transfer to your Game Boy Advance for Fire Emblem. Gotta love Fire Emblem. Yeah. The soundtrack for Double Dash was composed by Super Mario Sunshine composer Shinobu Tanaka and Mario Kart 64 composer Kenta Nagata. A match made in heaven, I think, because those games
I agree.
have great music. Big fan. In its first 7 weeks of sales, Double Dash sold 1 million copies, making it the fastest selling GameCube game up to that point. By July 2006, the game had sold 2.2 million copies and earned $105 million in the United States. Million. Double Dash also received positive reviews from critics and critical acclaim from fans, including me, because I think it's my favorite Mario Kart. And it holds an 87 out of 100 on Metacritic, so that's great. Now, the reason this is my favorite Mario Kart game, not because it might be the best Mario Kart game, but because of this memory. When Tyler and I were in college, that's right, Tyler and I went to college, everyone, together, okay?
We did, yep.
We actually were in the same theater department. There was only one, and we hung out. And they actually, at one point, I don't know who it was who put the GameCube in the green room of the theater department, but there was like a solid month and a half where we only played Double Dash. Like that's all I did, and it was so fun to the point that the staff made us take it out of there because they were like, nothing's getting done. Everyone just plays Double Dash.
Who ended up taking the GameCube?
I don't know whose GameCube it was. Like, that's the thing, is I don't even remember whose it was. I would just remember when I'd have like a 2-hour break between classes, I'd just walk to the green room, eat lunch, and then play GameCube. And I did that for like a month straight, and it was amazing. And then I was like, where did the GameCube go? And then one of the professors was like, yeah, we had to get that out of here. You guys were just doing that all the time and not doing your work. And I'm like, fair.
That sounds like something Ben would say.
It is exactly who told me that was Ben. Inside jokes. No one knows Ben, but he's great. He likes to get work done. And he's also a big video game fan. Plays a lot of Borderlands, Ben. Shout out to Ben, everyone. So I believe the only way to play Double Dash now, by the way, is to own a copy for GameCube. I looked on the Nintendo store, and there wasn't anything there. So unless you have a copy of the game, a legal copy, and you put an emulator on your computer because you own the copy of the game, that's the only two ways to play it, I think.
Yeah, let's see. How much is it on eBay? Looks like
$45.
Oh, $60 if you want the one with the bonus disc.
Oh, see, I looked up the other one was $45 when I looked at it earlier.
Yeah,
today.
looks like it ranges, but it's pretty expensive for an old game. I mean, I figure there's a lot of $20, but those are bids, so we'll see where it ends up. Anyway, it's not super cheap.
Kind of pricey. So this game is great. If you had it, you know the memories. If you don't have it, try to find someone with a GameCube that you know that has it, because it's a fun game you could probably pick it up and have a really fun afternoon. You know?
Yeah, though I played it with my little brother, and we would play. I think he drove the cart more often, and I hung out in the back because the person who was in the back didn't have to steer. They were the ones that used all the items. So they could use the items, and I would hang on to them to block other items, because that's how I played. I played to not lose instead of play to win when I played Mario Kart. And so I would block all the items coming towards me. And the other cool thing about being in the back of the cart was you could punch other carts.
Yeah.
You could knock them out. That was so fun.
So you say the best offense is a good defense, is your thought.
That's right. Yeah, when you're already in first place, who are you going to throw that red shell at? Nobody. You just hang on to it, and then when somebody tries to hit you with a red shell, you throw it backwards.
Exactly. So now we're going to move on to Mario Kart DS. That's for dual screens, everyone out there
All right.
at home. It was released on the Nintendo DS on November 14th, 2005 in North America, 17th in Australia, 25th in Europe, and That's right, Japan got the last release date on December 8th.
Wow.
Isn't that weird? And then
Yeah.
South Korea got it a year later, in April 2007. But that's
So almost exactly 2 years after Double Dash was Mario Kart DS.
Yeah, and the cool new feature to Mario Kart DS was that bottom touchscreen, and that actually showed your current standings in the race, the items carried by each racer, and a map of the course. The bottom screen also could be toggled to show either an overview of the entire course or a bird's eye view of the player's kart and the immediate vicinity around you. So you could see nearby racers or hazards, and you could throw items at them, and you could kind of use it to predict what the next move is of the enemy, if you will.
That's nice. It's kind of a throwback to the Super Mario Kart, because Super Mario Kart was always split screen, and the bottom half, if you weren't playing with someone else, always had the map, and it would show everybody else on it. So it's kind of the same idea.
I love the map. The characters and carts in this game were unlockable. That's kind of a new feature in this one. Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad, Yoshi, Donkey Kong, Wario, and Bowser. All those are there. But then you could unlock Daisy, Dry Bones, Waluigi, and Rob the Robot.
Oh, yeah.
Remember Rob? Oh, we love Rob. To start, only 2 carts are actually available for each character, and then an additional cart can be unlocked once you've made a little bit of progress with each character. And then when all 150cc cups are completed with a B rank or better, all 12 characters have access to all 36 carts.
Wow, so much content in
So
a
much
small cartridge.
Fun content. Now, there are all of the normal game modes I've mentioned before, but the new mode on DS was Mission Mode. Yeah, that's right. You, the player, have to complete missions, hence Mission Mode. But each mission has objectives that range from collecting coins, or you can go attack an enemy, and in each mission, the player controls a pre-specified character you cannot pick. You have to play as this person, okay? Or dinosaur.
It's part of the mission.
Yeah, or gigantic Donkey Kong. That could be true too, because they're not all people, There are 7.
Some of them were weird.
It's true. Some of them are just a skeleton of bones, to be fair,
Wow.
Who knows? There are 7 levels with 8 missions in each, and after completing each mission, the player's performance is given a grade of 3, 2, 1 stars, or ABC letters, and after all 8 missions in a level are complete, the player then must complete a boss mission. What? That's right. To get to the next level. And then once all those levels are complete and the rank of 1 star has been obtained at every mission, the 7th level is unlocked. Oh, so it's actually got a kind of a pretty good single player mode.
Wow, I didn't know that existed. I played a decent amount of Mario Kart DS. A little bit. I guess I didn't play very much because I didn't know about the mission mode, so maybe I didn't really play that much at all.
Yeah, I owned this game, but I didn't play it that much. My DS, I sold my DS a long time ago on Craigslist, and I regret it.
Oh, is this a regret sale?
It was a regret sale. I was like, I never play this. I should just sell it. And I sold it to some a family who had it for their kids, and I'm like, that's fine, but I regret this now. Now, let's talk about development. You know what I don't regret? They developed this game and they made it. It's great. Nintendo announced on May 11, 2004 that they plan to release a Mario Kart game for the DS. The company offered the game to the public to play for the first time at the 2005 GDC, Game Developers Conference. And that's where the game's wireless feature was showcased. Mario Kart DS was produced by Hideki Kono, and the game runs a consistent 60 frames per second and uses full 3D characters and environments. What is this pure magic on my DS?
That is crazy.
So Mario Kart DS is actually the first Mario Kart to support true online play, not LAN. Isn't that interesting? Because it's a handheld game.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
Kono remarked that although both Mario Kart DS and the Halo series feature online play, he noted that most of the people who used the featured Halo games were hardcore gamers, in quotes. With Mario Kart DS, Kono wanted everyone to go online, and the technology and the time is right for that to happen. So continuing the tradition of introducing new gameplay mechanic in each Mario Kart game, Mario Kart DS is the first in the series to support up to 8 players at a time with game cartridges.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of players. I don't know if I even had that many friends with DSs, let alone that many friends.
Yeah, it also had a battle mode that had CPU opponents. You had to have at least another person with you, like 2 humans in it, but then it would just fill the rest with CPU, so you could play against and it was
cool.
also the first Mario Kart game for the Nintendo DS. The developers tested features that took. Oh, yeah, I read that completely wrong. I thought there was another feature. There wasn't. So because this was the first Mario Kart game for the DS, the developers actually tested several features that took advantage of the device's bottom screen. They considered letting players place items anywhere on the track. As a thought, wouldn't that be cool? So you got a banana and you could just place it on the track somewhere, like specifically.
That is some next level strategy.
That would be really fun. But then the developers found it too confusing because the game already had like a lot of distracting things in it. It is kind of distracting. Mario Kart's really intense.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, and so it made it difficult to control where to place items when you were racing. And they're like, that's an idea we're just going to abandon, which is kind of unfortunate because I think it would be really cool to be able to place items in specific spots.
Yeah, that's a cool idea. I'd like to see them revisit that.
Now, in Mario Kart DS, a cart is able to draft behind another cart to gain speed. This is where drafting is shown for the first time. Remember that?
Oh, man, we got realistic racing physics.
Yeah, not drifting, but drafting. And that's a feature that was previously used. Oh, never mind. It was used in 64. My bad. But Mario Kart DS places a stronger focus on the feature, and they actually spread a visual cue when the cart is drafting. So you could do it in Mario Kart 64. It just wouldn't tell you were doing it. But if you were like going behind someone, it would give you a boost. I didn't know that either.
I just learned that now that Mario Kart 64 had drafting in it. Wow.
Yeah, also, this is the first game to include tracks from previous Mario Kart games so that players could use like the Super Mario Kart track on the SNES, or they could do like other things from like 64, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that would be in every single Mario Kart after that. Like, that's a big deal. It's like playing the old tracks, even in Mario Karts.
I love that they do that now.
Me too.
The game's soundtrack is actually composed by Double Dash composer Shinobu Tanaka. Yeah.
Nice.
Mario Kart DS was the best-selling handheld game in its debut month on November 2005 in the U.S. It was the 10th best-selling game of 2008 and the best-selling DS game of the year. Isn't that great? And as of March 2016, Mario Kart DS has sold 23.6 million copies. That's a ton.
That is a lot of copies. Holy moly.
Because the DS lifespan has been so long, because I'm pretty sure you can play DS games on 3DS, right? And therefore 2DS. So you could just keep playing these games. I mean, it's got a shelf life of, it's still going, technically. Mario Kart DS is also critically acclaimed. It holds a 91 out of 100 on Metacritic. So that's pretty darn good. For a handheld game, this game was sweet. Like, I thought Super Circuit was the best. And then I got this and I was like, this game is really cool. But I never play it, so I have to sell my DS.
Bummer.
I'm so sad about it. Let's get into the Wii. Gosh, I love the Wii. Did you love the Wii? The Nintendo Wii?
I did. I played a lot of Mario Kart for the Wii as well.
Me too. It was actually released on April 10th in Japan and April 11th, 2008 in Europe. That's my birthday. Wow.
Oh, happy birthday, Mike.
Like, I wasn't
Mario
born in-
Kart Wii, but you got to go to Europe to get it.
Yeah, that's right. I wasn't born in 2008 though. No big deal. But then it was also April 24th, 2008 in Australia.
That's my birthday.
Oh, wow. It's a birthday game.
Yeah.
If you were in Australia, you could have gotten it on your
could have gone
birthday.
there.
And then on April 27, 2008, it came out in North America. That's
Which
right.
is Matt in Japan's birthday. Oh, my goodness. Wow. What a lot
Really?
of birthdays for Mario Kart Wii. Yeah, I'm not even joking. Sorry, I just blasted your birthday out there over the airwaves, Matt in
Yeah,
Japan.
you didn't say the year. That's fine. New features of the Wii included the increasing number of racers to 12, when originally it was 8. Bikes were added. Little BMX, like not BMX, but like
they're like
motocross
motorcycles.
bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The game also took advantage of features unique to the Wii, most notably the motion control. This is where the wheel came in. I loved the wheel. You'd put the little Wiimote in the wheel, and you could use it. Oh, so great. Remember when we talked about
It wasn't the best way to play the game, but it was the most fun way to play the game.
Yeah, I always played it with that way, but my friends always used the nunchuck, and they would consistently beat me because that was the best way to play.
If you were super hardcore, you could plug in a GameCube controller
and really go for it.
Old school, yeah.
But I loved when you played online, and it would tell you who's using a wheel or not.
Yeah.
That was always cool.
So if you got beat by somebody with a wheel, it was like extra.
Yeah, they were really good. The player could actually perform tricks while driving that made you do speed boosts. You could do like midair like stunts. You could do drifting. You could slipstream. You could wheelie if you were on a bike. So there's all that stuff cool added to it. There are actually 24 characters you can play as in Mario Kart Wii. Isn't that nuts?
Wow.
And you
Yeah, that's a lot
unlock
of
them as
characters.
you play, which is I always think is more fun when you can unlock them as you go. There's Baby Mario, Baby Peach, Toad, Koopa Troopa, Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, Wario, Waluigi, Bowser, DK, Baby Luigi, Baby Daisy, Toadette, Drybones, Daisy, Birdo, Diddy Kong, Bowser Jr. That's right, the baby version of Bowser.
Wow.
King Boo, Rosalina, that's from Super Mario Galaxy, right?
Yep.
And then Funky Kong, who's really cool, and then Dry Bowser. Gotta love those. So many.
Wow. I didn't know Funky Kong was in there.
Oh yeah, he gets funky. He doesn't even care. There are 32 tracks in Mario Kart Wii. 16 of them are new, and 16 of them are from previous games. And that is kind of a ratio that they're going to keep going with for the rest of Mario Kart, I feel like. That's pretty
Half and
standard.
half?
Yep, 16 new, 16 old. One note on the game modes that while all the game modes from the old games are there, battle mode was actually team-based in Mario Kart Wii instead of free-for-all. At least it didn't give you the option for free-for-all. And this actually got some pretty big complaints from reviewers. When I was looking at the reviews for this game, like people were like, why can't I free-for-all in battle? And I'm like, well, they tried something new. But yes, they should have given you the option. Anyway, Hideki Kono, who worked with the EAD, Nintendo's Entertainment Analysis Division.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta love the EAD. And he'd previously worked on the last two Mario Kart games, as well as Mario Kart DS. He served as the game's producer. Shigeru Miyamoto acted as a, quote, general producer, once again throwing in idea grenades and running away. Producer Hideki Kono actually wanted to include certain online features for Mario Kart DS, but they were left out, and so those features ended up being in Mario Kart Wii. Isn't that neat? So
Nice.
The developers wanted to avoid races from becoming deserted as they progressed, thus altering the online matchmaking. They wanted to players could just constantly join a race, and once it's finished, participate in the next one, just boom, 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 seamless matchmaking essentially.
Yeah.
And the game was the first in the series to feature motorbikes, like BMX motorbikes is how they described it, and that's because Kono was a big fan of extreme sports.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Gotta love those. But they actually were having a hard time trying to get the bike right because they said Mario just looks kind of weird on a motorcycle, and he still kind of does
he
look
still
kind of
does, yeah.
Yeah. But the one thing, they actually wanted to do the bikes in DS, so they actually brought it into the Wii because they're like, it looks better with the Wii's graphics. Otherwise, he's just like a block on a motorcycle. The game was actually known internally as Mario Kart X. They never, because X was the extreme part of it, and then they just changed it to Mario Kart Wii. Yeah, extreme. The designers actually tested roughly 30 different prototypes with different shapes, colors, and weights based on real-life go-karts. And the final design for the wheel was made to be as lightweight as possible for it to suit long-term periods of gameplay. I'm talking about the wheel for you're holding in your hands, not the wheels in the game.
You stick your Wii remote in, and then you drive a car like it's a real car.
Like a real car. And it was made entirely white, despite experimentation with two-color designs for it to fit with the color scheme of all of the other Wii peripherals, because the white theme was the big thing with the Wii. The blue ring with the Wii logo inside of it was also placed on the backside of the wheel to give spectating players something interesting to look at. As a result, the blue ring ended up being featured in the game's logo. Isn't that cool? Mm-hmm. Mario Kart Wii was officially announced at E3 2007. The online features and the first footage of the game were actually shown at E3, and then our best friend Reggie Fils-Aimé presented the game. He unveiled it, and he showed the trailer and the new characters and the tracks. So cool. The trailer also said that the game would include up to 12 simultaneous racers, which was a big announcement at the time because it was just 8. You're adding 4 more? Mm-hmm. This is crazy. Then more details of the game came out when it was Nintendo Fall 2007 conference, and then it was revealed there that it would include bikes, and then the Wii wheel, and then new gameplay footage of the game was also shown as getting towards the release date in 2008. So they really got the big marketing push going. I like how they introduce it as the characters, and they're like, oh yeah, you're also going to be able to drive with a wheel. That blew my mind. I played this so much in dorm rooms; it was crazy.
Yeah, and everybody was still stoked on motion controls in 2008.
Yeah, not anymore. It's all dead. The dream has died.
Yep.
The music was composed by Asuka Ota and Ryu Nagamatsu, and they both used new versions of familiar songs. They took like a Mario theme and then they added new instruments to it to kind of give it a different, feel to it. And the music, if I remember correctly, of Mario Kart Wii was really great. It was really fun, really upbeat.
I think it was as good as any other Mario Kart game.
Yeah.
I think they all have pretty high quality music.
So the Mario Kart Wii version of the game was, no surprise, received real well, 82 out of 100 on Metacritic. It sold 30,000 copies on launch day in Japan alone, compared to Mario Kart DS, which sold 160,000, to kind of give you a little bit of a comparison. As of September 30th, 2019, the game is still considered, it sold 37.24 million copies, and it is considered the best-selling Mario game for the Wii console, the second best-selling game for the Wii, and the best-selling racing video game of all time.
Wow, people really loved that wheel accessory, man.
Yeah, I mean that's just crazy. It's the best-selling racing game period of all time. That blew my mind.
That's nuts. Yeah,
I was a big fan of this game. The wheel was so fun. Like we said before, like friends played on the nunchuck and they'd always beat me, but I had fun with the wheel. I also like that you had to like hop the wheel up to make your character hop. That was fun.
Yeah, that's the true victory, is the friends you made along the way.
That's right. That's exactly right. Tyler knows what's up. Now, we've reached our final game for Mario Kart, because we're not doing Mario Kart 8 because that's still current, because technically the version on the Switch is the Mario Kart 8 version. So it's fine. Now, with just some tweaks, I believe. But let's go to Mario Kart 7. Mario Kart 7 released on the 3DS, another handheld console, on, get this, December 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. That's when they came out in different countries, or different regions, I mean. Yeah, 1, 2, 3,
boom,
4.
boom, boom, right in a row.
Yep, 2011 was the year, and it all depended on where you lived. The new changes to Mario Kart 7 were some new items: the Fire Flower, which allowed you to shoot up to 10 fireballs; the Super Leaf, which gives players a tail that allows them to flip over nearby players; and then also they threw back in coins. Okay, like coins were from the Super Nintendo version, and they were gone until now, which is nice. They also had an item called Lucky 7, which bestowed 7 items on you at once. I never got that. Yeah, I never really played a lot of Mario Kart 7, to be honest.
That sounds like one of the items they'd give you for being in last place. So, of course, I never got it.
Yeah, you never get it because you're always in first.
Yeah.
There are 2 maps from non-Mario games in this. It's Wii Fit Plus, and Wii Sports Resort. They all take place on a place called Woohoo Island, and that has 2 maps on Woohoo Island. That's the first time they've ever done non-Mario courses at that point, because they definitely
I didn't play
have
very much Mario Kart 7 either.
Because in the Switch version, they definitely have like a Hyrule course now. Like they've branched away from just Mario. It's now more like Nintendo titles. But this one was like straight up like, we're playing in Wii Sports Woohoo Island. Sounds cool.
Yeah, and I think you can play as Link in Mario Kart 8 as well, right? So that makes sense.
Yeah. And this one you could not. I'm going to go over the characters again. But actually, I'm doing it right now. But the characters are all the same, except the 4 new ones they added are Wiggler, Honey Queen, Lakitu, and Metal Mario. Those are the new ones.
Honey Queen. Who is Honey Queen?
I don't know who Honey Queen is. Do you know for sure? The game had Grand Prix, Time Trial, Balloon Battle, and Coin Runners. Those are the game modes in Mario Kart 7. Coin Runners and Battle actually let you drive around one of 6 arenas. 3 of them were from like previous Mario Kart games, to collect items and attack opponents to score points within the time limit of 2 minutes. So it's just like fast paced. You're battling, you're trying to collect coins in 2 minutes. I believe it was like, if you have balloons, whoever has the most balloons by the end of 2 minutes wins. That's how it works.
Okay. Yeah.
Nintendo. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I looked up Honey Queen. She is a giant queen bee that's in the Mario Galaxy series that now I'm ashamed that I could not remember her, because, of course, I remember her now.
You know what? I'm not going to tell her. Okay.
Thanks.
I'm not going to tell her that you didn't know her. It's fine. EAD once again developed Mario Kart 7 in early 2010. And the idea to have hang gliding and submersible carts, that's another new feature, came in with this Mario Kart. Actually, that was the previous Mario Kart game they thought of that for Mario Kart Wii, but they didn't implement it again until this Mario Kart. I like how they do that, how they like think of new ideas and they're like, let's save that for the next one. And then they actually do them. That makes me happy.
Yeah, and then they do a really good job with it, too.
Yeah. The ability to customize the player's cart was also added to make gameplay more strategic and to boost the multiplayer experience. Like, I believe this one you could have like different tires and stuff like that, which made you can do different things. So that's important. The game was publicly announced at E3 2010 under the tentative title Mario Kart 3DS, and then shown again at E3 2011, where it was announced for a late 2011 release, and they said, hey, it's called Mario Kart 7. We're just numbering these things now. Let's get out of the weirdness.
I remember
You know what I mean?
when that came out, and they came out that they were going to call it Mario Kart 7, and I remember going, there have been 7 Mario Kart games? And I was like, oh, Super Mario Kart 64, Mario Kart Advance, Double Dash, Mario Kart 3DS, Mario Kart for the Wii. Yeah, okay, yep, that's 7 Mario Karts.
That's 7 whole Mario Karts. There was some development drama with this game. Did you know that? Let me tell you something.
No, I didn't. Tell me about it.
So because Nintendogs Plus Cats was scheduled to be released first, Mario Kart 7 was kind of given lower priority, and it only had 8 staff members assigned to start work on it. So when it was time to focus on the game, producer Hideki Kono realized that there was just not enough staff available because a lot of people were working on other titles. Like Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword was like in production during that time in 2011. So in order to finish the game for the 2011 Christmas season, Nintendo actually had to give another studio a shot at developing. And that studio is called Retro Studios. They had just finished making Donkey Kong Country Returns, and so they decided to co-develop the game with Retro and have them work on Mario Kart 7 so they could have it come out for the holidays in 2011.
That is also the development studio that made Metroid Prime, the best GameCube game ever.
Nice. The team actually focused on producing the classic racing courses and then remakes of the courses from earlier Mario Kart titles in order to both learn lessons from the development process for Mario Kart games and also about what makes a good course, like from a design perspective, like what makes a good Mario Kart course. So they did the classic courses first. Yeah, because then they made the new ones afterward. The game's soundtrack was composed by both Kenta Nagata, who worked on previous Mario Kart titles like Mario Kart 64 and Mario Kart Double Dash, and also Star Fox 64 3D composer Satomi Terui. Isn't that great? Now,
that is great.
Shortly after the release of Mario Kart 7, there was an issue. It was discovered that 3 of the available tracks, Woohoo Loop, Woohoo Island Loop, Maku Woohoo, or Woohoo Mountain Loop, depending on like what game you own, those each are 2 different courses with 2 different names. And then also the Game Boy Advance version of Bowser Castle 1, those had glitches that allowed players to skip over a significant portion of the track. And it was often exploited as like a cheat during online play to win.
Oh.
And so although Nintendo at first reported in January 2012 that there were no plans to release a fix, a downloadable patch did remove the glitches during online play, but it was released on the Nintendo eShop on May 15th. But then if you didn't install the patch, you would be unable to connect and play Mario Kart 7 online. Like if
you should be.
Yeah. But also, the patch did not affect single player or local wireless multiplayer. It was only for Nintendo's online. So you could still use that exploit if you wanted to play it single player and be like, haha, computer players, I got you. Look how silly you look now. Mario Kart 7 holds an 85 out of 100 on Metacritic. It's super sweet. Really good game. And as of December 31st, 2019, the game has sold 18.68 million units globally. So we did it. That's Mario Kart as of right now.
That's a lot of units sold.
That's so many units sold. But we're not going to talk about Mario Kart 8 because it's technically Mario Kart 8, and then the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe came out for Switch, right? Isn't it called Deluxe? I believe it's called Deluxe. What's the name of it?
Yes, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the Switch one.
Yeah, so that's current, so we're not going to talk about it. So now we're going to talk about what you've been playing, Tyler.
I have been playing, and I think you've been playing it too, Doom Eternal.
So much Doom. I was playing it pretty much all day today. When I wasn't doing something productive, I was playing Doom, which is also productive.
Yeah. I can really only play that game for about an hour at a time because it's so intense, and I find it to be extremely difficult. Some of the encounters, even on the really easy mode, which maybe says something about my skill at playing video games these days. But I'm finding it to be somewhat difficult and frustrating, and so after about an hour, I'm like, okay, I gotta stop.
So I was like beating my head against a wall for that first mission. I was like, man, Tyler was right. This is really hard, right? But then, as I started upgrading and kind of getting my rhythm down about what weapons to use against what bad guy, things have gotten so much easier, and I am straight up murder parkouring right now. I did bang my head against the wall with a boss on the 5th level, I believe. I hit a boss that I think I tried it like 4 or 5 times before I finally beat him. Mm-hmm. But other than that, it's been straight up murder parkour, and I'm finding all the secrets now. I don't even need to look on the website anymore, really. I can just find them on my own because I kind of know how they're like getting used to how they think. And I'm like, okay, there's usually a breakable wall or a console pad somewhere around here. You know what I mean? And I'll find it. But it's really fun. I also like that they've added this like wall climbing, like platforming mechanic to the game.
Yeah, I think the platforming is generally pretty fun.
Yeah, and at one point I was playing and I was looking at what I was playing and I'm like, is this Mario? Like it was like a lava level and there were like flame wheels like on a string.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I was like, am I playing Mario right now? But it was super fun and I was a big fan of it. I'm still a big fan of it. I'm a big fan of all of that game and everything about it, and I am looking forward to beating it and playing it for a while. I think I might even like try it on the harder difficulties. I'm playing on normal right now and it feels pretty good. Like it's a good challenge. But you really just got to upgrade your stuff. That's really what that's why I'm kind of finding all the unlockables in each level, because it really helps you out. Also buying the because there's 2 crystals on the fortress that you can get that will upgrade your health, armor, or ammo, and you have to unlock those first. That's what I was like, first thing first I'm doing is unlocking those, because they're super, super helpful. I feel like just maxing out ammo in the beginning is the best you could, because that's what I do.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I run out of ammo.
Me too.
You're just always shooting, but that game is so fun.
Yeah, I'm having a good time with it.
What else have you been playing?
I have been playing the original Mass Effect. I'm going back to it. I'm going to play it a little bit more Paragon this time, because when I played it back in the day, I played more Renegade. So my dream is that No, Renegade's not evil. Renegade's just like kind of mean. She just like, she still does the right thing. She just does it in a mean way,
Oh, I guess.
But I haven't decided what decisions I'm going to make for things like the Genophage, like that kind of stuff. So I'm very, very excited to play through that whole series again. Let's see. Is there anything else I've been playing? I've been watching Kelly play The Last of Us. Just finished the game plus the DLC. We had never played the DLC before, so that was nice. It was very, very good. And then I've been playing Gears of War 3 with you. Well, we beat Gears of War 2, and now we're on to Gears of War 3.
Crushed it. I wouldn't mind doing some of that after this, actually, honestly.
Yeah, I might play some of that.
Big fan of doing our one act at a time on casual. Feels great.
Yep.
Anything else you've been playing?
That's pretty much it. I did beat the first 2 missions of the original Call of Duty on Xbox 360 last night, so maybe I'll keep going with that if it's not too long. But yeah, other than that, what have you been playing?
I've been playing a lot of Doom Eternal. Not so much Destiny. Booted it up to grab a thing and then shut it down. But
I haven't even booted it up to do that.
Yeah, I've been playing Borderlands 3 also, which is fun. Yeah, big fan of Borderlands 3. I kind of took a break from it. Now I jumped back into it again. And then I'm also playing Apex, and I'm playing Minecraft of all things, because once again, there was a big update and my friend opened his realm up and we're just kind of jumping in and playing around. Like, really, it's just a phone call where you build things. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, that's fun though. Do you know, speaking of Borderlands 3, because Kelly and I are looking at what other games to play now that she's finished Last of Us, can we play Borderlands 3 with you if we're starting from scratch, or is that a bad idea because you're way ahead?
Totally.
Okay.
My character will power level you. I think that's the way it works. It's like when you jump in with me, or I'll jump in with you, and my guy will level up really quick. Also, I would love to play a different character because it's fun. So I'd play any character. Like I'll
let you know if we decide to fire it up.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really fun as like a way to just hang out with people, I think.
Yeah, seems cool.
Anywho,
and I want to fire up Doom 64 soon, which I need to.
I just downloaded it. I didn't realize it was so small.
Yeah, if it's an N64 game, N64 games max out at like 64 megabytes, so I'm sure it's like several hundred megs on PC, but
yeah, it was like, I think it was like 900 megs or something like that.
Yeah, let's see. Doom 64 is 92 megabytes. Okay.
Never mind. 10 times
Estimated
smaller?
Estimated download time 7 seconds. Love it.
Wow. Yeah, and the other cool thing about Doom Eternal is I got it all to work where I logged into my Bethesda account on Doom 3, Doom 1, and Doom 2, and I got some sweet skins. And
nice.
Also the cool part about Doom Eternal is as you get these like milestones of like collecting all these things for each category, you seem to get like a skin or an icon or something new, which is really neat.
That's cool.
The only problem I've had with Doom Eternal is they have this battle pass that you get points for when you just play Doom, whether it's single player or multiplayer. And there's been a couple times it just hasn't given me points because I wasn't online. Like I get booted from the servers for some reason, even though I have internet still. Yeah, so I've played about 6 levels, and I'd say 3 of those levels I got 0 experience, which was really
that's
lame.
a bummer.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is a really because you wanted me to have a battle pass to make me keep playing. That's really not helping at all.
I'm probably not gonna play much multiplayer. I'll check it out just to get a feel for it, see what it is, but I can't imagine I'll stick around.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna play multiplayer either. I bought the game for the single player, knowing I'd just play the single player, and it's so fun, and it's exactly what I wanted it to be. So, anyway, do you want to read some emails?
Yeah, let's read some emails. We got one from Old Man Ryan from Minnesota. He says, what's up, me dudes? Old Man Ryan here. Now that you know that I'm from Minnesota, I can go back to just being old. I had to keep my Monday morning tradition intact, so I'm here on the beach in Montego Bay listening to you guys talk about my favorite Metal Gear family, Metal Gear Acid, and glad to see you not dog it like the critics did when it was new. I remember IGN and Game Informer were giving it around a 6, saying it was bland and not very fun game. Well, I'll have to try and keep saving New Tristram since a new season started for Diablo 3, and then he included a picture of him on the beach with his Switch and him listening to Codex, and that's awesome. So thank you for that, Ryan from Minnesota. Old Man Ryan from Minnesota.
Old Man Ryan's my hero from Minnesota. My Minnesota hero. Thank you, Ryan. I don't think we need to call him Old Man Ryan. We could just call him Ryan from Minnesota.
Okay.
Or Montego Ryan.
Montego Ryan now.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. All right, the next email we got is from John. John from New York says, hey guys, it's John again, writing from self-quarantine after a vacation to London and Amsterdam. That was lovely. I'm currently in self-quarantine after my return, which has given me 14 days to basically just sit here and play video games, which actually isn't that bad at all. That's kind of the dream.
Nice.
Isn't it, John?
Positive spin.
The dream. That's right. I live in upstate New York, and just a few short hours from me is the Video Game Hall of Fame, located in Rochester, New York, at the Strong Museum of Play. I've lived here for about 15 years now, and I had no clue that it was so close until a couple years ago in 2017. My girlfriend brought me for the 25th anniversary of Super Mario Brothers exhibit was being shown, and the place is absolutely incredible. I was lucky enough to play the original Super Mario Brothers on one of those giant coffee table-sized original NES controllers. That's so
awesome.
Cool. Just figured I'd let you guys know because I don't think many people know that place even exists, and I didn't know it exists. Thank you, John. I would totally go there. John continues on saying, I look forward to each episode, so keep up the great work, and thanks for keeping me entertained each Monday. I'll wrap this up with a question. What are each of your 3 desert island games that you would bring with you if you're stranded on a desert island, or in this case, quarantined in your room, ? Cheers, John from New York.
Ooh, great
that's hard.
question. Clarifying question: does this deserted island, does it have internet access?
Oh, I'm gonna say
it
yeah.
does. I'm bringing Final Fantasy 14.
I'm gonna say yeah. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
It's a desert
if it's
by
quarantine
choice.
in your room. Yeah. So I'm bringing Final Fantasy 14 for sure. Probably Destiny. I've been playing Destiny long enough to know that I could probably keep going with it if I were stranded on an island. Third game. That's a tough one.
Want me to do mine while you think of your other
Yeah.
ones? Okay,
Yeah.
so my first one would be Super Mario World because it's my favorite Mario. I love it so much. My second one would probably be Destiny 2. And I think my third... My third, I think I would have to go with the original Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Wow, the original. You blow through that pretty quickly. I'm trying to think of things that have longevity, you know?
Oh, that's a good point. I guess.
I love Tony Hawk, and I love, I'm thinking Banjo-Kazooie, but I'm like, I can beat Banjo-Kazooie in about 5 hours, 100%.
Yeah, Desert Island game, it's not necessarily your favorite. It's the one that you can play the most, huh? So Destiny 2 would definitely be up there as long as you have online. And then I'm still going to say Super Mario World because I just come back to that game a lot.
Yeah, you could keep playing it forever.
Yeah, but the third one's the tough choice. I feel like the third one, you're putting yourself in a corner, this is it. What's it going to be? Huh, I want to look at I know what it'll be. I'll pick Skyrim.
Oh, that's a good choice.
Because it's single player, but I feel like there's so much to do in that game.
Yeah.
And then you could use, we have internet in this situation. You have mods, you can start messing around with it.
Yeah, I think I got mine. I think I would take, well, there's caveats here too. I think I would take Rock Band 4, assuming I can take a drum set, the plastic drum kit.
I think it's you're taking the game. It includes all the peripherals. It's totally fine.
So I would take Rock Band 4, and if I can take all the peripherals too, that's even better because then I can play everything on all the things. But I'd take Rock Band 4, especially if it has all the DLC loaded from Rock Band 1, 2, and 3, which I'm pretty sure you can do if you do the licensing right. There's a way to get all the songs from all the previous games in there. If I had to pick just one of them without, bet which one has the best song list, I'd probably take Rock Band 2. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'm thinking about my answer. You know what would be a good one? A game that, if we have online, I would almost pick, Counter-Strike. Because then I could just focus my entire desert island life on being really good at Counter-Strike.
Oh, yeah.
And then I could become pro, and then they'd be like, hey, you want to leave that island now that you're a pro Counter-Strike player? And I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, it's your ticket off.
It's my ticket off of this island,
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
That's smart.
Or, you know what? Actually, maybe instead of Rock Band, I take Rocksmith, assuming I can bring a real guitar with me, and then I'm going to learn how to play real guitar on this desert island. Perfect.
And then you become a rock star, and they're like, hey, you got your ticket off that island.
Yep. That's it. That's right.
This is a solid, foolproof plan. I really like what we did here.
Yep. Okay, we got one more email here from Gabriel. He says, hey guys, love the podcast. My new favorite podcast. Oh, thanks, Gabriel. I really loved the Pokemon episodes. It made me really want to play all the Pokemon games in order. I have a question for you guys. What games do you wish had a prequel or a sequel? Hope you guys are doing well.
All right. I'm gonna tell the audience that Tyler and I talked about this question before the podcast even started because we wanted to rack our brains, which is funny because the island question probably took a lot. Would have taken us. Yeah. Would have been better to talk about before the episode. Yeah. But this is a really good question. First of all, Gabriel from nowhere, because we don't know where you're from the internet. I think that what I want to see, and this is entirely me, and it's ridiculous, is I loved the Nintendo 64 Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, where you would race pod racers. And I think a pod racing sequel would be an excellent game with today's modern graphics. It would look super cool, and it would be super fun. And that's what I'm going to vote on. I want a sequel to that. Or KOTOR 3. Sequel to that. One of those two.
I'm thinking of a standalone game that is not really part of a series. So what do I wish? A game that was expanded upon. I've been thinking about this game a lot lately. I don't know why, but I want to go back and play this game. But there was a game that came out in probably 2009 or 2010 for the 360 called Wet. And you played as, I can't even remember the main character's name, but she was voiced by Eliza Dushku. And the game had a slow motion. It was a third-person shooter and it had a sort of Mad Max slow motion aspect to it that was really, really fun and had a lot of cool parkour stuff going on. I wish that they made more games of that, but I guess it didn't sell very well because, I don't know. It was really fun, though. I loved it, and I want to play it again.
So you meant Max Payne, right? Because you said Mad Max. Do you mean Max Payne?
Oh, yes, Max Payne. Sorry.
Because when you say slow motion Mad Max, I'm like, how much leather is in this game? A lot of leather? Too much leather?
There's a lot of leather, I think, too. But yeah, no, you're right. Max Payne, sorry.
No, that's great. Man, yeah, because I feel like Episode 1 Racer never had a sequel, and that's technically a standalone game right now. So I would want there to be a racing game like that. It was so cool. You could customize your pod racer, and you could add parts and stuff to it that would make it look different out there. It was such a cool game.
Yeah. I remember renting that game from Blockbuster back in the day.
Oh, man, I love Blockbuster. I think I still have Episode 1 Racer in my bag of Nintendo 64 games. So great.
Nice.
So great. Thank you for the email, Gabriel. Thank you, Ryan and John, for the emails as well.
Yeah.
And you can send us an email at codexhistorypodcast@gmail.com if you'd like. That's really nice of you to do. We love getting emails. We love answering your questions. I think next week we're going to do this discussion episode, right, Tyler? If we decided that?
I think so, yeah. I think that sounds like a good idea.
So next week, you're going to get Mike and Tyler's list of the best games for social distancing. I feel like it applies.
That's what we're doing now.
We're
way ahead of the curve because we've been social distancing on this podcast for over a year now.
Yeah, for a long time. A long time. But Thank you so much for listening. You can rate and review and subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts, whether that be Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, or you can just tell your friends because that means the world to us too. Thank you so much for listening. Do you want to say bye, Tyler?
Yeah, bye, Tyler.